Welcome to the podcast where relationships, confidence, and determination all converge into an amazing, heartfelt experience. This is Speaking from the Heart.
Welcome back to episode number 183 of Speaking from the Heart. Welcome to my fire. Welcome to the comfort zone where you can just take a load off your back, put everything aside, sit on the log which will serve as our seat tonight, and enjoy what I have to say because I have a story in which I want to tell you. Have you ever felt the roaring fire, not only warming your face, warming your body, warming your soul, but especially on that winter cold night or that crisp fall day, thinking about what it is that you want to work on, not only from your past, but how you will tackle it in the present so that you can become better for the future? Think about the thoughts, the feelings, the sounds, the emotions that surround you. Not only from the outside, the physical that is, but think about not only the wind blowing on your face, that cold spike that is happening, that cold temperature that might be hitting you, but think about the rush, the exhilaration, knowing that as you sit around this fire, you're being rejuvenated, mind, body, and soul, taking on the thoughts, the busyness of life, putting it aside, working on not only yourself, while dodging the fire, smoke, and embers that are around you, being able to pour into you to become that best version of who you are. Thanks for coming into this fire, ladies and gentlemen, because today's episode is about warming up. It's about getting that fire reignited inside of ourselves. It's about not only pushing ourselves to the limits, getting above and beyond where we ever thought possible, but also trying to overcome some of the temptation of giving up, knowing that that brief respite, being able to be surrounded by others, maybe even just the sounds of nature for that matter, can be such an exhilarating feeling to get you back in the game, to get you back into life, stoking the fire inside of you, literally. Now, I have to say, these cold winter days that we have in Pennsylvania have been quite crazy in itself. We've had temperatures that have reached the single digits all the way to the 50s. It's kind of a roller coaster when we get to this time of year, especially in Pennsylvania. So even starting out with this brand new year, it has been somewhat of a different type of vibe. It's something that we oftentimes are adjusting whether we should put on short sleeves or put on the long sleeves or even put on that heavy jacket so that we can tackle the elements. But even then, are you putting on different layers? Are you putting on different things that might be holding you back from being able to experience the true potential of that fire? To be able to wake up, to see what's around you, to be able to smell, taste, feel, hear, and even experience with your mind all the various combinations that surround you when it comes to stoking that fire. Not only that's in front of you, but also what's inside of you. I think that we often don't get the chance to stop and smell the flowers. And for a variety of different episodes, I've touched upon this, but I really want to dig deeper into why it's important to not only stop and smell them, but also experience what it can mean to roar that fire that's inside of you, what it is that might be holding you back from the true potential that lies dormant. I have to say that this is the time of year, even for us, even when things significantly slow down, or maybe they pick back up again, especially with the type of field work that you do. Maybe you are a construction worker or a blue collar worker for that matter, getting back on the road, having those opportunities to not only pull to the side of the road to experience what you have, but also experience what you can give to others. Those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions that run around you, that create this past, present, future version of yourself, is something that we have to pay attention to. It's something that senses within ourselves whether we have that fire that will keep on moving us forward, that will allow us to not be snuffed out. The comfort of our own home, being able to even stoke that fire that's in our fireplace, means that we are surrounded by friends and family members that we invite to not only partake, maybe in s'mores, maybe in the things that are associated with building that type of fire, but even outside. A campfire does contain different ingredients for it to continue burning long into the night, especially as it gets colder and colder, and even providing a source of light, nourishment if you're using it as cooking fuel, alongst other things. If you think about all the different things that are involved with being able to create that opportunity to start a fire, you can think of all the things that create that opportunity to jumpstart you. We are a fire, and that fire can sometimes be burning very hot or burning very softly, maybe even to the point of almost fizzling out. But even with all those things, all those temptations, all those different things that might be holding us back from being able to really dig deep, to push us into understanding what are the thoughts, feelings, emotions that make us feel whether we're really hot or really cold when it comes to our fire. We have to learn that sometimes we have to be able to moderate that. We have to be able to see what really fuels us, what might put us out for that matter. And I think that that manifestation, whether we want to look at it from a physical aspect, putting that fire together physically, or even looking at it from ourselves, how we are able to continuously burn bright, means that we have to look at not just the inputs, but also the outputs. That's right. The things that we put inside our body, and also the things that are outside of our body that are out of our control. We're not able to work through without some guided help and some direction to help us become better versions of ourselves. It's not easy, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to go through all these different busy parts of our life and manifest these fire, smoke, embers that come around us that make us feel like we're connected with the overall, that we're able to sit near that fire, especially in that cold night, and be able to enjoy what is around us because there might be something else that is bothering us. There might be other things that we have to push aside. There might be other aspects that we're not even taking into account today that might come up and throw us into cold water. And that sensation, especially when we're doused with that chemical that snuffs us out, we definitely don't want to be part of that journey anymore. We definitely find ways in which we can walk away and rebuild ourselves, burning that brightly, burning that ability for us to create that opportunity to shine even more. I think that we have to find that sensation not only within ourselves, but we also have to find it amongst each other. I think that you have to be able to understand even more that when it comes to building that fire that's inside of ourselves, you have to be able to learn how to grow, not only by learning how these experiences affect us, but also how they affect each other. But by affecting this, by stoking that fire, especially when we have that poker that will help to jumpstart ourselves, are we really ready to have that poker push us in directions that we really do start burning brightly again? Now, even with all that said, even with all the things that might be pushing us into that direction, we have to think about why that fire is so important from the get-go. Why is it necessary for us to burn brightly? There are definitely times in our life that we have to burn a little bit lower, especially the intensity, because sometimes our intensity can throw us off course. It can make us feel like we're not comfortable in being able to not only shine brightly, but to be able to stand firm, especially in the face of adversity, to be able to take us to places that we need to go. Being able to feel comfortable about that means that we have to step outside that bubble. And that fire then has to step outside that circle that is built in, even if it's outside or even in the fireplace. Whether we are looking at it from a figurative or literal standpoint, we have to step outside, sometimes to show how bright we really burn. But do we really want to do that? Do we really want to frustrate the balance that nature provides, whether that is for ourselves internally or externally for that matter? That in itself is a judgment call. And that judgment call is not easy to make. So I want to talk about how you can make this roaring fire, especially when you have to get it started again, to help you to get in the right direction. If you haven't spent enough time to even try to build this fire, maybe the first thing that you can do is see why the fire actually went out in the first place. That means going back in time, trying to figure out what it is that might have set it off. Maybe there was something that doused it. Maybe there was somebody that told you something that really hurt your feelings. Maybe there was something that happened in your life. Sometimes this soul searching exercise is not easy to do, especially all by yourself. And granted, somebody like myself that has been through this journey to get to that other side, to be able to work on themselves, I had to go back very far. So don't be surprised if you're unearthing things that might have happened 5, 10, 20 years ago, and you're figuring out why is that something that sticks with you. Once you're able to do that, now you have to rebuild what that fire is that you once had and making sure that it's protected from ever being doused out again. It means putting up safeguards, but not too many safeguards, because one of the biggest things that I've learned is that we can be overly protective, too much so that we actually set ourselves backwards. So being able to examine what that looks like, what those thoughts, feelings, emotions are that might be hurting us, might help us to understand how we can move into our future. Trying to do that in a cautionary manner, however, might not be in our best favor. Sometimes the band aid has to be ripped off. The pain that might come from that might be temporary, but being able to learn how we can move forward from that, knowing that the pain will subside itself, will be a great opportunity for us to learn and develop ways in which we can compensate for that. One of the last things that I think of immediately that you can do to make sure that that fire, even once it's started, it will burn brightly, is making sure that you have the right ingredients to keep that fire alive. It isn't just about the wood. It's not about the kindling that you put into it so that it actually jumpstarts itself again. It's about all the other things in our life that we have been able to find that are enriching ourselves. Maybe it's that experience that we once had. That was the turning point. But maybe there was something else that we want to learn from that experience that will help us to go even further. So revisiting what we have been able to do can be a great step forward. Being able to take that step forward means that we also have to make a list of all the different things, all the different areas that we can develop within ourselves, that we can show that we are capable of becoming that best version of ourselves, that we are able to grow and mature and see that on that other side of that fire is the dawning of a new day. Night might come, and that fire might be the way in which we navigate the darkness and sustain ourselves overnight. But once the fire goes out, because we don't need it anymore, that's when the day will provide its own sunlight, its own way in which we're able to move forward. Pushing everything that I said for the last 13 and a half minutes away for a moment and thinking about this from an objective standpoint, I'm sure that there are many of you that can think of people, even yourselves for that matter, that need that encouragement, that need that advice. They are able to be stewards of the light that are given to them and being able to find comfort, especially in the coldest of days and nights for that matter, to be the safe beacon to be able to find where that fire is that we've been missing all of our lives. It could be with someone that you love deeply. It could be with someone that you care about, that you really want their affection. And if you haven't told them today that you love them or care about them, even if it's a friend, family member, or significant other, pause and do that right now. Find that person, find that place, find that thing that will help you so much. And don't get overly addictive to it, because sometimes we can over obsess. There are addictions to bad things: alcohol, drugs, sex, all the different things that have been trauma in our lives. We've had a number of guests that have talked about how they have been able to extinguish those vices and be able to ignite the fire that's inside of them in a whole new way. Finding those ways in which we can experience that sensation, how we're able to create that opportunity of a lifetime to conjure up those thoughts so that we are not as busy as we once thought we were because we were putting them aside, can help us with building that roaring fire. And I know that maybe this might be a difficult experience. It means that you have to challenge yourself in ways that you have never challenged yourself before. But I will tell you that through those experiences, you will be a better person. And for me, especially with all the clients that I have ever worked with and the experiences that I will continue to build in 2025, I know that those opportunities will exist. I know that I will be a different person when I record the last episode of this year, whatever number that will be, because I will have that perspective, I will have that depth, and I will have that attitude that will change it all. That will help me become the best version of myself and ignite the roaring fire that has yet to even grow even larger, even brighter to help others. But I must digress. It's not about the size of the fire that matters. It's not even about the quality of the fire in which it prolongs itself. It's just about the effort. And that's all I'm asking you today in this episode to consider. Do you want to sit in your own comfort, knowing that that fire will always keep you warm, but will always push you aside, saying that you're not worthy, that you are stuck in this moment forever and ever and ever? Or are you going to challenge yourself to go beyond the fire that is built now, to help others bring around the circle, whether that's in your house or outside, the opportunity to have a conversation, to be able to grow, to prosper in ways that both financially, knowledge-wise, or some other mechanism will help you see greatness in a way in which that roaring fire will make you even greater than you once were. Stepping outside your comfort zone isn't just about finding the fire, but it's also having the courage, the ignition in which will help jumpstart that process so that you will become not just the best version of yourself, not just the way in which you're able to ignite the flame that's inside of you, but to know that you are ever enduring, ever pushing forward with determination, knowing that you have what it takes. You know deep inside yourself what it means, not only to become the best, but the best of them all. And I think even looking at all the things that you have done, even up to this point, even looking at all the things that are yet to come, can help you ignite that roaring fire that is only just getting started. Thanks for listening to episode number 183 of Speaking from the Heart, and I look forward to hearing from your heart very soon.
Thanks for listening. For more information about our podcast and future shows, search for Speaking from the Heart to subscribe and be notified wherever you listen to your podcasts. Visit us at www.yourspeakingvoice.biz for more information about potential services that can help you create the best version of yourself. See you next time.